All right, good morning, everyone. After some crazy technical difficulties, we are back to filming, unfortunately, in portrait instead of landscape mode. Tested this all out, and we have set up this new setup. You're actually in our master bedroom right now, but all of the furniture is pushed up against the wall. Facebook decided that it didn't want to film in widescreen and was turning everything the wrong direction. So hopefully you can all see me right now, and you can see me in the correct orientation and not facing sideways. Good morning and welcome to our Sunday morning class. You may have read my post already, but if you haven't, I'll give you a few moments. You will want for our class today just a blanket, big towel. You could use an additional rolled up yoga mat. We're just going to use this for a little heart opener. If you don't have anything, don't worry. You can simply recline on the floor and you will still enjoy the benefits of this class. We're actually going to just prepare a blanket, and then we're going to start standing up, and then we're going to come down and use our blanket for a little heart opener. So when you get your blanket, you just want to create a little roll that is wider than your shoulders. So this is barely wider than my shoulders, so I'm going to open mine and make it even just a little bit wider, folding up my blanket into 3 here, and maybe in half was better. Let's see. That's probably pretty good. A little wider than the shoulders, and just create a nice little roll with your blanket and place it at the back of your mat. So you're going to stand at the front of your mat, and the back of your mat you want just a little bit of space behind your roll, because you're going to place this in a few minutes underneath your shoulder blades, just so you don't have to do any extra reorganization in the next couple of minutes. And then when you're ready, you're going to come to stand at the front of your mat. And as you stand at the front of your mat, spread your toes nice and wide. See some color between each of them. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Soften your jaw. Maybe even close your eyes. Find that little bit of softness in your knees. Relax your shoulders. And then as you inhale, you're going to reach your arms up overhead. You can keep your eyes closed, so you can blink them open and even look up if you want. And then as you exhale, you're going to hinge forward, drape your arms forward, and let them come either to your thighs, to your shins, to the floor. Inhale, find halfway lift. And as you exhale, drape yourself forward again. Keep your knees nice and soft here. Let your head start to get a little bit heavy, maybe even turning to look a little side to side. We're nodding and shaking. And then when you're ready, press into your heels, spread your toes again nice and wide, keep the knees soft, and start to roll one vertebrae at a time up to the sky. When you reach standing, roll your shoulders back. Relax them away from the ears. Inhale, bring your arms up. And then as you exhale, you just drape yourself forward. Big sigh out. Let it all go. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. As you inhale, now roll yourself one smooth breath up to the sky. Arms can be heavy. Your arms can come out and up. And then as you exhale, bring your hands down in front of your heart. Inhale, arms come up overhead. As you exhale, it's that big, deep sigh. Sweep your arms either back behind you or somewhere onto your legs. Maybe you even reach them up a little bit. And as the inhale comes, you pick up halfway lift, maybe hands onto the legs or onto the floor. Exhale to release. One more like this, inhaling to roll to the sky. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale to reach up. And as you exhale, just release, let go. Sink towards the floor. Inhale, a little bit of a lift. Exhale to fall. Inhale to roll up. Exhale, hands come in front of your heart. Now take your deep breath in. And at the top of your inhale, hold for just one beat. Before you let that exhale release. Repeat that pattern twice more. Inhaling deeply. Hold for 1 beat and release. 1 more at your own pace. From here, you are going to make your way down to the floor, and we're going to lie over our little rolled blanket, rolled towel, whatever you happen to find around the house. If you didn't find anything, go ahead and just lie flat on your back. You can still participate, you just won't have quite the same physical assistance in this little imagination that we're going to do, this little tiny meditation to start our class. Now that you've breathed a little deeply, when you're ready, you're going to lie yourself down so that the bottom of your roll is at the bottom of your shoulder blades. You might have to kind of wiggle around a little bit, find that space, and then take the tops of your arms over the bolster. I apologize for my sweater, it's quite chilly back here. Over the top of the roll there and out to the sides. Head can come all the way back to the floor. If that feels like it's too far, you have a few options. You could reduce the height of your roll, or you can place a little prop, a little pillow, block if you have one, a book, underneath your head. And just go ahead here and settle in. You need to wiggle to get that roll a little comfortable, please do. I have my knees tented, but you could also have your legs long, or even the soles of your feet together. See what feels good to you. And then again, as you settle in, take that deep breath in. And at the top of that breath, when there's no more inhale possible, hold for a beat. And then release, slow exhale. Just go ahead and repeat that pattern a few times. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Working at the pace of your own breath. Hopefully this breath has already made you a little more aware of the center of your chest, of your heart. Now that you are aware of that space at the center of your chest, you're aware of your heart. Let your attention rest there. How does it feel at the center of your chest physically? Does it feel a little stretched here, a little open? If you are not feeling that, you can always reach your fingertips a little more out to the sides. You can take your arms up over your head, little cactus. I'm running out of space for the wall, but your hands could be flat on the floor. You can even reach your arms all the way up over your head and take your hands to the back of the mat behind you to increase sensation in your chest. You just want to feel your heart physically here beginning to open. And as your heart begins to physically open, imagine that your esoteric heart perhaps is beginning to open as well. Although many of us have been confined to our houses, our yards, perhaps a walk in our neighborhoods over the last week, and maybe we haven't really seen anyone, or maybe if we have, it's been from quite far the other side of the street, end of the block, waving from porch to porch. As you open up here, see if you can sense a little bit the presence of everyone else around you. They may not be close to you, but they're still there. You might even envision the faces of people that you usually see on Sunday morning. Who's usually on the mat next to you, in front of you, behind you. Invite them into your practice. You might even say hello to them or shake their hand. You can invite in people who maybe you don't normally see on Sunday, just people you've been missing. Take a few moments just to visualize their presence around you. Can you see their faces? Can you feel their smiles? As we do this, I can feel the sun is breaking through the clouds. It's growing brighter. Take another deep, full breath here. And then just as if you were coming out of a Shavasana, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. If you like, you can draw the soles of your feet in and sway your knees a little from right to left. Do that a few times, already starting to massage your tailbone. And a little space in your hips and your lower back. Now when you're ready, you can roll yourself all the way over to one side. And use your hands to press yourself up. Here you are going to come to child's pose, or if child's pose doesn't work with you, you can come back onto your back and hug your knees into your chest. If you have your blanket, you're welcome to keep using it either underneath your knees. I like to use it underneath my forehead when it's early in the morning for a little bit of support. In your child's pose, your knees could be together, your knees can be apart. Spend just a few deep breaths here. Allow your hips to become heavy towards the heels. And again, feel your breath. Now maybe you can feel it in the space between your shoulder blades, the very back of your heart. When you are ready, you're going to walk your fingertips back a little bit towards you so you can lift your hips. And coming towards your tabletop pose, so bringing your knees underneath your hips. If you want to use a blanket cushion, please feel free. Bringing your hands underneath your shoulders. And then close your eyes and just begin to move. Maybe it's a circular movement. Maybe it's a cow-cat shaped movement. Maybe it's just a little side to side. Maybe it's coming back to child's pose. Any way that you move that feels right for your body this morning. It's just organic. You're listening. You're paying attention. free to move a little more. You can always move your arms. And move your legs. Couple more deep breaths here. Remember that if being still is what feels right, it's perfectly fine to be just in one pose the entire time. It's not what you do that is important, it's what you feel when you do it. And does what you feel good? When you're ready, you're going to come back to your neutral position. Keep your fingers spread nice and wide. Tuck your toes under. Start to press back, through the arches of your feet. And you might just stay here and rock a few times forward and back, stretching the arches of your feet. That might feel like plenty. Or you might decide to lift your knees and come to your first downward facing dog. Maybe moving a little deeper, you can pedal the feet. If you choose to stay in table, a nice option is drawing circles with the hips, or keeping the toes tucked under, one foot to the back of the mat, rocking a little forward and back, getting into the Achilles, into the calf. Another deep, full breath here. And then gently walking or stepping, bring your feet to the front of the mat. Find your forward fold. Again, nice soft knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. As you inhale, smooth breath to roll you up. Feel free to walk the hands on the thighs for extra support. And as you exhale, bring your hands in front of your heart. Inhale, extra deep. Hold that beat at the top of the inhale. And then release, exhale. Beginning to move a little bit more as you inhale, bring your arms up. As you exhale, soft knees fold forward. Inhale, pick up your halfway lift, reach the crown of your head forward. And as you exhale, hands plant down. It's okay if you need to bend your knees quite deeply, or if you like to use props, blocks underneath your hands or something similar. Step your left foot to the back of the mat. Bring your left knee to the floor. Feel free to fold your mat over or grab a little cushion of your blanket. Untuck your toes and start to lift up. You could stay fingertips to floor, hands to blocks. Come up, hands to thigh. Or if you're ready, you can sweep your arms up to the sky and just take a deep full breath in here. And that long breath out. Inhale again in your lunge. And exhale to fold, planting your hands to the floor. You could come back to table, or you could tuck your back toe, lift your back knee, and come back to downward facing dog. Take a deep breath once you get to your table or your dog. And then inhale forward to plank. On this first one, exhale, knees to the floor, lowering all the way down to the mat. Inhale, tuck your pelvis down, lift the center of the chest, cobra, coming to the height that feels nice for your body. And then exhale to release, tuck the toes under, come back, table or downward facing dog. You have 3 deep breaths here. Spend the time to move around, if that's what feels right, or to be still, if that feels better. The end of your third breath, you are going to lift your left leg up into the sky as you inhale, and then step your left foot to the front of the mat as you exhale. Bring your right knee to the floor. Tuck your back, or untuck your back toe, if that feels more comfortable, and start to lift up. Maybe hands to floor, hands to blocks. You can do the hands on the thigh, or you can sweep your arms up. And once you find your lunge, there's no rush here. You take a deep breath in that lunge. Nice long exhale. You inhale where you are. And on the exhale, you're going to fold forward. You can plant your hands to supports here, blocks or stacks of books for a little extra space. Tuck your back toe, lift your back knee, and step to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. As you inhale, nice soft knees roll to the sky. And we're just going to keep moving. So as you exhale, fold again forward. Inhale, find halfway lift. Starting the same way, plant your fingertips down, blocks or floor, step the left foot back. Bring the left knee to the mat. Here we're going to add in a twist. Left hand to the floor or to some kind of support inside the right foot. Reach your right arm forward as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, pick up a twist. Right arm to the sky. Shoulders shrug back. You're going to take a few deep breaths here. Pull your belly button gently towards your spine. Find a little bit of extra rotation. Inhale where you are. And as you exhale, you're going to fold back down towards the floor. Again, you can step to table pose, right knee next to left knee, or you can step back to downward facing dog. As you inhale, make your way forward to plank. You go again with your low plank, or if you're ready, you could have tucked toes and lifted knees for your high plank. Exhale to the floor. Inhale, you can bring up cobra again, or you could go for upward facing dog, shrugging your shoulders back. And then exhale, come back for a few breaths in table or downward facing dog. Feel free to move. It's also a great opportunity to pick up a child's pose, or even lie flat on your belly if you like. Little bit different. This time you're going to lift your left foot again to the sky. Same foot that moved back is moving forward. Step your left foot to the front of the mat. Look a little bit forward. Take your fingertips, hands to block. Soften your back knee and step now your right foot next to your left foot. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to roll all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands come in front of the heart. Take one of those deep breaths, pausing at the top of your inhale. When you're ready, next inhale, the arms come up over the head. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, you plant your fingertips down. You're going to step now your right foot back. Bring your right knee to the floor. We're going to the twist to the left. Right hand plants down. You can always stack some things up under your hand here for extra support. Left arm reaches forward as you breathe in. As you breathe out, twist. Shrug the shoulders back. Lift your torso up a little bit as if someone had attached strings to each of your left fingertips and they're pulling them up towards the ceiling. One more deep breath here. Inhale. And as you exhale, you fold towards the floor. Again, you can step back to table or you can step back to downward facing dog. Pick what feels just right. Take a breath once you get there. And then as you inhale, you come forward, high plank or low plank. Exhale to the mat. Inhale. Cobra, upward facing dog. If you prefer, you are more than welcome to take your Sphinx with your elbows on the floor. And then exhale, come back to your base pose. Table, child, downward dog. About 3 deep breaths. Find that place that feels just right, that feels good. Meeting in table or downward facing dog. As you're ready, same foot that we've been working with. The right foot is going to lift up. And then the right foot steps forward. Soften that back knee, maybe even look a little forward and lift up. Left foot next to right. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rolling all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands in front of your heart. Take that deep, full breath. Pausing just that briefest of beats at the top of the inhale. I'm going to add on a little bit. Feel free to come back to any of the variations that we have just done or to join me in a couple of deeper variations. When you're ready, inhale your arms up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, plant your hands, left foot steps back. Left knee one more time comes to the floor. You're going to come into your twisted lunge. You can come into the same twisted lunge that we've done, left hand down, twisting to the right, maybe right arm up. If you want a little bit deeper variation of that lunge, you can lift your hands up onto your thigh or your hands up into the sky. This is your inhale. And then as you exhale, open your arms out parallel to the long edge of your mat as you twist to your right. Reach your fingertips in opposite directions and squeeze your right hip a little in towards the midline. A little squeeze in your inner thighs to keep you here. Take another deep, full breath. And then as you exhale, you're going to come back to the center line. Now, this next one is a little bit tricky. You can always use your fingertips on the floor, your hands to blocks, or you can try keeping your hands at your heart. See how it goes. Tuck your back toe under. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Maybe, just maybe, you can lift your back knee up, coming directly to your crescent pose. Remember, you can always have your fingertips on the floor or your hands on blocks here. You're going to take a nice deep full breath. This is your inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to fold forward and again step back, table or downward facing dog. You can always drop that back knee and come to table. Done a few vinyasas, so you're welcome to skip them at this point, or you can join me inhaling to plank. Low or high, exhaling floor. Cobra, upward dog, sphinx, back bend of choice. And then we'll meet again in table or downward facing dog. When you're ready, left foot floats up, left foot steps forward. Reach the crown of the head forward as you inhale. As you exhale, soften that right knee and step up. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to roll all the way up. Exhale, hands to the heart, and take a few deep breaths here. Pausing that little beat. Top of the inhale, and as you pause at the top of the inhale, feel the fullness, feel the expansion, feel the openness in your heart. One more deep breath. Your next inhale, arms float up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step the right foot back. Right knee comes to the floor. You can always even keep your right toes tucked under if that feels okay in preparation to lift that back knee up, or you can untuck them and retuck them. Inhale. You stay in your low lunge for your twist if you like, twisting to the left, or you can bring your arms up. Inhaling here. As you exhale, you twist to the left and you open your arms out parallel to the long edge of your mat. You really have to kind of engage everything, pulling your muscles into the center line of the body. The inner thighs squeeze in here, the belly squeezes in here, and then from all of that drawing in, you can reach out, fingertips to opposite ends of the mat. One more breath here. Inhale, come back to the center. Hands might stay at the heart. You might want some extra support. Fingertips on the floor, hands to blocks. We're going to tuck the back toe under if it's not already there and see if you can lift up. Crescent lunge. Medium or a little bit lower. You can alternate between what feels good to you this morning. Lift the center of your chest either forward or a little bit kind of diagonal if you're a little lower to the floor. This is your inhale. And as you exhale, you fold, you plant your hands, you step back. Feel free to skip your vinyasa and take a rest, or if you're feeling frisky today, inhale with me forward to plank, exhale to the floor. Inhale, cobra, upward dog, sphinx. And then we'll all meet in table or downward facing dog. From your table or your downward facing dog, the right foot will float. The right foot will step forward. If you came from that back variation or back knee down variation, tuck your back toe, lift your back knee, and step up. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fall. And as you inhale, roll yourself to the sky. As you exhale, hands come to the heart. And you find that deep breath. Pause at the top of your inhale. Feel your heart expanding outwards. Take a moment, maybe you can visualize again all of your friends, your family, your fellow yogis surrounding you. I'm imagining our Sunday morning yoga room and all of your faces, sound of your breath. One more breath here. Find that connection. And then with the next inhale, blink your eyes open. If you close them, reach your arms up over your head. As you exhale, fold forward. Inhale, pick up your half lift. As you exhale, left knee comes back. Left knee comes to the floor. Toes can be untucked for better comfort. Again, we're going to go into a lunge, skipping the twist this time. You can stay quite low, fingertips to the floor, or you can lift up, hands to the sky, hands to thigh. Take a deep breath in here. Squeeze your thighs together. And then as you exhale, relax your shoulder blades. Tuck your back toe if you untucked it. And as you inhale, lift up. Fingertips could very well be to the floor here. Inhale again. And as you exhale, you're going to fold forward. Plant your fingertips to the mat if they're not already there. Take a look at your back foot. If it feels really far away, you might step it a couple of inches in and then rotate on the back foot. Set the heel down for warrior one. If you feel like your stance is too close, feel free to walk your back foot out or your front foot. I like to walk my front foot out to the side, to the right to create that space of train tracks, but it's up to you. Front knee is over the front ankle. Press your fingertips down, and as you inhale, make your way up to the sky. Lift again. Find your lunge warrior, your crescent warrior, your warrior one. Inhale here. And then as you exhale, take your hands behind your back. You could interlace your fingers. You could grab the opposite elbows. If you like to grab a strap, you can grab something between your hands here as well. Or just place your hands behind your back. See where you again feel that openness at your heart at the center of your chest. This is your inhale. Maybe even shrug your shoulders a little further back or even look up. As you exhale, fold to humble warrior, belly to thigh, or torso could come a little deeper to the inside of the thigh. Maybe you lift your arms a little up. Maybe you tuck your chin towards your chest. Hug your right hip in towards you. Make sure your toes are not death gripping. You can see my back toes were turning a little white back there. One more breath here. And then on an inhale, peel yourself all the way up, release your hands. You can sweep your arms back to the sky, or you could do hands to hips. And then as you exhale, you want to, as floatily as possible, come towards your warrior three. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, fold forward. Fingertips could come to the floor. You could float hands to heart, arms out to the side. See if you can lift your left leg behind you. Lift your belly, squeeze your inner thighs together. Float for just a beat. And then maybe, just maybe, you can draw your left knee into the chest. Don't worry if you have to place your fingertips to the floor there. And maybe, just maybe, you can roll all the way up to standing on one foot. If you need to touch that left foot down a couple of times, don't worry. Hug your right hip in and simply hold. Maybe you like to go towards a variation of tree pose. I'm just going to rotate so you can see my feet. Foot to the ankle, foot to the calf, foot to the thigh. Relax your shoulders. Hands are wherever they assist you in your tree. See if you can come back into that deep, heart-expanding breath. Hold at the top of the inhale. Last deep breath. And then as you're ready, go ahead and release. Place the left foot on the floor. Maybe you need to shake some stuff out. Wiggle your hips. And then come back to the front of your mat. We'll take that home on the other side. Bring your hands first in front of your heart. Take one deep, full breath. Expand your heart. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale to fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, your right foot steps back. Your right knee comes to the floor. Skipping the twist, so just lifting to your variation of lunge, which might just be lifting the chest a little bit, might be coming up a little higher, maybe even lifting the arms to the sky. This is your inhale. Squeeze your inner thighs together. And then as you exhale, relax your shoulders. If you have untucked your toe, go ahead and tuck your back toe under. Maybe you can lift it up, coming into your crescent lunge, high or fingertips to the floor, a little bit lower. Reach up through the crown of your head. Feel that lovely extension at the back of your thigh here. Inhale deep. And as you exhale, come forward again. Fingertips to the floor if they're not already there. Look back at your back foot. Mine feels really far away, so I'm going to step it in. Maybe even a little over to the right to create that space for my train tracks. Right heel comes to the floor. Left knee is over left ankle. And as you're ready, inhale up, warrior one. Gently draw the left hip back, and the right hip perhaps a little forward. Reach up through the crown of the head. And then softly take the hands behind the back, your variation. Roll the shoulders back, lift the center of the chest a little more perhaps. This is your inhale. And as you exhale, you fold to your humble warrior, belly to thigh, torso to the inside of the front thigh. If you want to go a little deeper, maybe you lift your arms. Bring your chin towards your chest. Feel the elongation of your whole spine. Breathing here. Feeling here. Connecting here. When you're ready, peel yourself all the way back up. Inhale, you can just straighten your front leg and wiggle things out before you come to your warrior three. Just a little float. Doesn't have to be much. You fold forward. Maybe you can do it without the support of your hands. Maybe the hands need to come to the floor to assist you this morning. Lift your belly button up a little bit. Soften your left knee and just fly. It's like this floaty feather variation of yourself as much as possible, which might only be your pinky fingers this morning. Maybe the rest of you feels like lead. And maybe, just maybe, you can draw the right knee into the chest. Remember, it's okay to take multiple pit stops. But then you draw that right knee up and in. Maybe it's just let the right toes rest on the floor as lightly as possible. Maybe you're having such a strong day that your core is engaged and it's nothing to hold your knee here. And then maybe, just maybe, you fall over, but maybe you have a wall to catch you and you come towards your tree pose. Foot to thigh, foot to calf, foot to ankle, doesn't matter. What feels strong, what allows you to hug your muscles into the midline and relax your shoulders. Take a few breaths. Hands are wherever they assist you. If you don't feel wobbly yet, try some weird stuff. Wave your arms around. You want to feel the instability, the work that it takes to be stable. Because it's not easy. It's work. If it was easy, you wouldn't feel so good when you did it. Wouldn't be that beautiful sense of accomplishment. Last deep breath. Go ahead and release. Come to the front of your mat after you shake things out a little bit. As you inhale, bring your arms overhead. As you exhale, let your hands settle in front of your heart. Close your eyes, soften your gaze. Deep breath in. Pause. Pause. Deep breath out. inhale, bring your arms up over your head. As you exhale, fold forward. Inhale, pick up halfway lift. And as you exhale, walk or step your feet back to the back of the mat, or your knees to the back of the mat, table, or downward facing dog. We're going to go into pigeon pose here. And as usual, I'll give you a couple of different variations. If you already know your favorite, feel free to go there. You can join me in traditional pigeon if you like. Right leg to the sky, right knee behind right hand. I like to practice with my foot diagonally back. If you have it in your practice to open your foot to the front edge of your mat, I don't even know if you can see that past my body, you can do that. That just doesn't feel very good for my knee. I like this more functional pigeon, the foot in a line with the knee diagonally back. That feels good. Slide your left thigh back, untuck your toes. Maybe consider lifting up for a beat as you inhale. And then perhaps as you exhale, you fold forward. Place your forearms to the floor. Some people can place their forehead to the floor. Maybe that variation does not feel so good in your hips or your knees or anywhere else. You could always sit on the outside edge of your right hip. Draw your left knee a little in and fold forward here. I like to imagine that I'm creating a frame of my forearms around my leg, around my thigh and my calf. You could also roll onto your back and take your right ankle over the top of your left knee, maybe even drawing your left knee in towards you, finding that same stretch, outer right hip, just releasing. We've spent a lot of time opening up this morning, opening up our hearts. We've created a little bit of heat in our hips, but let's open up our hips and free whatever is in there. We often talk about the hips as a storage place. And often they are a storage place for things that we don't necessarily want anymore or need anymore, but we're hanging on to. Negative emotions, fear, anxiety, boredom, annoyance. Feel all of those things draining out as you stretch your hip. If you're lying on your back, you could simply switch sides here by bringing your legs up, crossing your left ankle over the top of your right knee, and drawing your left knee in towards you. It's also totally fine to leave your right foot on the floor and practice here. If you are in your pinwheel, so I'm going reverse variations here. You're in your pinwheel, you're going to lift yourself up. If you're in your traditional pigeon, you're also going to lift yourself up a little bit, put your hands under your shoulders, and step back. Table or downward facing dog, you might take a moment to move stuff around. Before you go to the other side, left foot lifts, left knee behind left hand. You can slide the right foot back and practice this traditional pigeon, maybe considering that little lift for a breath before you fold. Maybe you practice the pinwheel and you rock to the outside edge. You're sitting on the outside of your left butt cheek. Your right knee could draw in a little bit. This is very personal. Yours might be a little more in, a little more out. And you might fold from here. And we're just targeting the outer left hip, outside of the left thigh. If you feel some stretching happening there, great. That's what we're looking for. And you want to be able to focus on letting go of what you feel there. You feel that deep stretch. You feel that tension unwinding. You feel all of those things that you may have been thinking or feeling over the last week just draining out of you. If you're distracted by pain and discomfort in the rest of your body, this is not going to be nearly as effective. So find the place where you feel the release in the hip, but no discomfort in your knees, your ankles, your lower back, or anywhere else. Let go. As you feel that drain of tension from the hip, feel the tension drain from your shoulders and your jaw. Take one more deep breath. start to release from this pose. Again, if you're lying on your back, you can just uncross your legs. You might hug your knees into your chest and rock a few times side to side before bringing yourself to a seated position. If you're in a forward-facing variation, you're going to lift yourself up, come back to your table or your dog for a moment. Just maybe wiggle things out a little bit. And then as you make your way to seated, we're going to go into a camel pose. So you could sit on your heels. That might feel quite comfortable. Remember, you can always prop between your ankles and your knees. You can sit onto a block here by placing it between your feet. You could sit cross-legged. Or if you know you're ready for a deeper variation of camel, you are welcome to stand up on your knees and practice from there. I'm going to start sitting on my knees and I'll show you a couple of different variations. Roll your shoulders back, place your fingertips on the floor, back by your hips. Lift the center of your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Maybe a little look up. And that might feel like plenty today. As you do this, keep your belly engaged. Imagine there's a little zipper from your pelvis all the way up to the space where your rib cage starts to meet. And you're just zipping that up so this is all engaged. And then you can really open the center of your chest. If that feels good, you can walk your hands further back. You can even lift your hips if you're seated as I am a little bit here. If you are seated cross-legged, lifting the hips is possible, but you can do that if it feels good. I always find that slightly awkward for my shoulders. I like to kind of just hang out in this really nice open space for the heart. If you want to practice that deeper variation on your knees, again, feel free to cushion them. I like to start with the toes tucked under, hands on the lower back. Drift the hips forward, squeeze again the shoulder blades together and open. If it's in your practice to come a little deeper, you can drop the hands back onto the heels. Wherever you are, you squeeze the shoulder blades together. You zip up the belly button. You zip up the core. The more engaged the core is, the stronger it is. It protects the lower back and allows the heart, again, to just stay open. If it feels good, take a few more breaths. If you're ready, you release. Again, zip up your core. Gently make your way back up, walking your hands onto your lower back. Head comes last. And then here, you could fold forward into your child's pose if you happen to be on your knees. Super convenient. If you're sitting cross-legged, you can come to your child's pose, or you can just fold forward in your cross-legged seat, maybe switching the crossing of your legs. And just take a few breaths there. Feel the space in your lower back. Gently and slowly bring yourself back to seated. Comfortable seated position is all that is required here. Cross-legged on the heels. Legs could be extended in front of you. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, twist to your right. Hands come down, maybe to the floor behind you or to the leg. Block is always nice, or stack of books if the floor feels far away back there. Take a deep breath here. As you inhale again, come back to the center line. And as you exhale, twist to your left. Find a comfortable place, a supportive place for your hands to rest. Deep, full breath. And inhale back to the center. And we're going to move side to side. Again, you want to find that rhythm, exhaling over to the right. Inhaling to the center line. Find the rhythm that feels natural to your body. I'm letting my arms go up and down as I inhale side to side, but that might not feel quite right for you. Your inhale and your exhale might just be your hands moving from side to side. Maybe you like to slow this down a little bit and you spend an extra breath or two in each twist. Just let this pattern develop naturally, guided by your breath, guided by your body. You can even close your eyes and just feel. Don't worry about the appearance. Don't worry about how it looks. Worry about feeling, sensation. breath. Finishing up whatever you are working on. Take your time. There's absolutely no rush. Whenever you finish up your next set, whenever that happens, you'll simply come back to the center and bring your hands in front of your heart. Take that deep, luxurious breath in, pausing one beat at the top. And then exhale, let it all go. 2 more like that. As you're ready, you're going to make your way all the way down to the floor. Hands could come behind the thighs, arms and legs could extend. Roll yourself gently to the mat. When you arrive there, bring your knees one and then the other in towards your chest. Perhaps you rock a little side to side here. You can turn the soles of your feet up and do a happy baby, holding the feet themselves, the ankles, the calves, or even I like to kind of loop my arms around my thighs, but hold on to the thighs. This is another great place to use a strap. If you like to use a strap, take it over the ball of your feet or behind your thighs and just hold on. Move a little bit. And from here, you might feel completely ready to extend to your Shavasana, arms and legs long. You might feel just right. There might be another pose or shape that your body would like. You're more than welcome to add that into your practice. And as you do make your way to your Shavasana, know that you can add or subtract any props that you like. You can come back to a supported heart opener like we did at the beginning of the class. A great option for this class especially is to take your rolled up blanket underneath your knees as you lie down, maybe even frogging your legs, a little Baddha Konasana out to the side just to keep those hips open. But there is no way to do this wrong if your body feels good. You want to get comfortable. You want to find a place where your body can relax. You want to find a place that feels good. As you find that place that feels good, connect again with your heart. You can take that deep breath in, holding for a beat, just feeling that expansion, feeling the openness before you let it all go. And just come back to the sensation at your heart, the sensation at the center of your chest. Notice first that physical sensation at the center of your chest. You notice the stretch with the breath. Maybe you notice a pleasant sense of heat or fatigue from our practice. And see if you can feel what your emotional heart is feeling. Does it feel full? Full of love, full of empathy, full of connection? Does it feel like it's running a little low? Could use a little bit of extra connection, a little extra love today. That's okay too. you're not feeling full. That's what our practice together is for. Whether you have extra to give or you need a little boost today, acknowledge that. And if you have extra to give, maybe again you take a moment and you find in your extra consciousness, extra perception, those around you, those close to you, those far away. And you just mentally share a little. And if you're needing a little extra today, go ahead and feel that. Feel the energy. It's there. It's subtle. You can't see it. But you can feel it. It's that feeling that feels good, that feeling that puts a smile on your face for no particular reason that you can think of. That feeling when you give someone a compliment and their face lights up. That feeling when you do something for someone else just because you want to make them happy. That feeling when someone does something for you that makes you happy. Take the next few minutes to just enjoy this space. Deep breath in. And a big sigh out. Wiggling your fingers and your toes. Maybe turning your head a little side to side. And as you're ready, roll yourself all the way over to one side to rest for a few breaths. Before making your way to a comfortable seated position. Whatever that looks like for you today. Of course, feel free to use any of your props. If you're at home and you're close to a wall, you can always sit up against it to support you. When you find that seat, go ahead and bring your hands in front of your heart. Press all 10 of your fingertips together. Press the heels of your hands together and bow your head towards your heart today. Just a little tuck of your chin down towards your chest. We'll close here with our deep breath together. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Beginning on 3. 1, 2, 3. Namaste. you all so much for sharing your practices with me today, and I hope that this practice was beneficial and helpful to you. I enjoyed doing it virtually with you. I would like to take a moment just to thank all of you who have so generously donated to this venture. I hope to be investing in some new equipment and perhaps a bit of a better space to be filming in the future, so that we can continue to do yoga together and make it better and better every single time. I'm still working on our live schedule for this upcoming week. Definitely a class next Sunday at 10 a.m. I have no idea what date that is, but that is the Sunday after the 28th of March. 10 a.m. will be live, and I will post some classes during the week as I figure out my volunteer schedule over the next few days. I hope to see you again soon. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful afternoon.